All right, I started this project yesterday. There's a small shrimping boat, and the problem with it is that the wood underneath is rotten, and so I started cutting it off, and I'm going to support it and rebuild it back up. So as I'm getting a little deeper in here, I see that somebody else have been doing this probably 10 years ago, something like that. So there used to be a metal beam, I mean not metal, a wood beam inside of here long time ago when the boat was made, and that's been rotten and removed, and they built in wood here and supported on this side. So I'm going to build this as it's going to last another 15 years, not another 50. So because if you're gonna tear off all of this and rebuild the whole thing, that's gonna cost way more than the boat is worth. So we're gonna make it work with what we got, reinforce this is heavy-duty structure anyway, the fiberglass here. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. This one, I have a brush on it, so it'll not grind, but it will take away some of the loose stuff. Alright, so I grind off grind it out so it's even, and then grind off the loose debris. Now I gotta chop back up all the dust and debris in here, and then build up supports underneath here and here and here and here and here to in order to hold up that is not the final board, but that's like a shim, because I cut out, this is the worst area, I cut out this area, and I need to build it up, so this is functioning like a shim to get it even with where it was, and then we're gonna build on top of there. All right, so with this endoscope you can see what it looks like underneath here. So I soaked up the debris, so I'm letting it dry out a little bit, and then I'm going to start cutting the wood. So I'm using 2-inch stainless steel screws. Alright, got the 2 first pieces in there, got a couple of them cut, and this one here, because of the angle, I cut it like this, so I can get it up underneath better, like that. I gotta screw it at an angle, so make sure I don't go through the hole. All the supports are in, and I'm beat. So it's ready for tomorrow to lay down the shim board and then from then on, that's when the actual floor goes in. Alright, so I just put in these two here. They're basically shims before the shim, which is the big sheet going here. Only I need to grind this one down just like a 1/4 of an inch to be level with this too. We're using the chainsaw blade here. It's pretty effective for this kind of stuff. Here comes the big shim. Shims are in, so worked out pretty good all the way back here. So now next step is the actual floorboards on top. Good morning, ducks. So it's day 4. I'm gonna anchor down the floorboard today and then finish it up in the back here, and then possibly start on building a splash wall back there. Alright, so I cut this board to fit, and it's 89.5 on this end and 88 on that end, so I cut both ends off at 3/4 of an inch on that back end. But as you see, in order to fit it in here, I either have to cut it or I have to jump on it to bend it down while it's passing that ledge. So let's see what we're gonna do. There we go. Floor is completely down of the wood part, so tomorrow I'm gonna put strips of woven fiberglass in the corners and kind of hold it in place. Some of you struggled with some scissors cutting this before. This doesn't cost much more than a pair of scissors anyway, and it makes it so much easier. Starting with the parameters around the boat first. I got several sections cut up already, and starting with this is about approximately 1 pint, and 1 pint requires about 1 tablespoon. Like that. And I have about 17 minutes to complete all the liquid I have in here before it starts hardening. So I need to move quickly now. So I apply the liquid to the surface first, and then apply the fiberglass on the outside and let it, and then add more liquid on the outside to avoid not getting it soaked in completely. You need to be totally absorbed, no air bubbles. And I do have a gas mask. I'm not putting it on right now because this was relatively light compared to when I'm gonna do the big mat and the covering here. That's gonna be much more. And also, as soon as I finish recording right now, I'm gonna turn on the fan to circulate the air. Too high. Yeah. I just finished. All the perimeters are done, so let that harden, and then tomorrow, well, depending on what time of day the fiberglass mat will arrive. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow, so I may not be able to lay it tomorrow. We'll see. But either way, I can start on building the back wall here, backsplash. I'm gonna start working on that tomorrow. Yeah, I totally forgot to record anything today, but this is what I've been working on. So this is removable, like that. I'm gonna close it up over here. And on the other side, today I've finished building the backwash wall, if you will, removable. But now we're going to encase it. So before we do that, we have to prepare the surface, because it will, acetone will do this. Pretty good job. See how it's taken off, well, not just the dirt, but even down the paint, the old paint. Alright, here's a little bubble. Before any other coat comes on, I need to grind that down. So I think I'll start down here. It's gonna be the trickiest part, I think, because of the shape. So start with that. This is now encased with fiberglass and resin. So tomorrow I'll finish the floor. Alright, time to lay down the main floor fiberglass. right now it would be nice to have somebody to mix me another batch, but I don't. So right, so new day. I finished laying all the first coat of fiberglass yesterday, and it's now cured, and I'm gonna do a second layer, and then after that what I have remaining is to coat the gate, which is out here somewhere. Coat that with fiberglass as well. All right, so 2/3 of the second coat of fiberglass is done, so I'm hoping to be able to finish this today before I go home. Alright, it's Thursday, and yeah, yesterday I was not able to finish everything, so I have one more piece that I have to lay in here, and that completes the second layer in on the floor. And then I'm starting on the gate. So this is gonna be encapsulated in fiberglass and resin. So that's on the agenda today. Yeah, once again I forgot to record. But anyway, I done this in like 4 steps. So I have some down here, some here, some here, some here, and I just did this part. I can't do much at the same time because it has to sit in that direction or it will fall apart. So I have to do like the top side of everything, and then tomorrow I have to stand it up straight, and then do the top side here and let that harden and turn it upside down and let it stand up and do this side. And so it has to be done in many steps. Alright, so I'm about to do the last coat on this one here. This has been like 10 or 11 or 12 steps because of both sides and corners and all that. You know, I couldn't turn it over, and it had to be coated on top side, not underneath side at the same time. So anyway, I didn't record many of these steps because it would be very repetitious. It didn't look like much every time. So this here should be the last coat on this piece right here. And on the inside of the boat, I'm gonna go back in and do one more little sanding or grinding, just to not to make it smooth, but to get off the anything that sticks up, and then that should be finished as well. I think I'm a little bit shy. I need to make another cut or so. I promised Walter to put a little coat on this one here as well, even though I didn't make this box, but this needs to go back in onto the square in the back. I just need a little bit more, so I'll make another batch. Well, that looks like the end of it. GoPro, stop recording. Alright, so I just used this one here, finished drilling the hole through the transom, and that's always a time where you can find out is the transom good or not. And because this is an old boat, I was concerned, but it's very, very solid, which is good. So, and this goes in here, and I have already drawn a little mark. I'm going to cut it there. That way it'll be flush with the wall, and the water can flow in here and flow out here. And I have a scupper coming on the outside here that will allow water to flow out, but restrict it from coming back in. Unfortunately, there's some moisture here. It's not too bad. It's not rotten, but it's wet, which it shouldn't be. But there's nothing I can do about that now. Just prefer it to be 100% dry. GoPro, stop recording. Alright, so I'm taping this up because next step is to, I'm gonna dissolve some resin and apply that in here to get a coating to coat all the wood on thoroughly all the way around before I insert the pipe. And also before I insert the pipe, I'm gonna apply one round of the fiberglass around it and then push it in, so that way. And I'm gonna, after that dries, I'm gonna fill in, so make sure it's sealed so no water can get in here. But even if some water get in there, at least I have a full coating of resin around the wood, so it won't be penetrating into the wood. So apply resin first. Dabbing on a little extra just before I put it inside. So I just ground it down after what I filled. It didn't fill as much as I wanted to, but it did fill the bottom part, which is good. This is what it looks like on the inside. So now I'm gonna come in with another filler, another type of filler, which is thicker, so it will stay, and pump that in between. This is the sealer I'm gonna use. So it's ground off and scupper ready to be installed. And here it is. I'm going to point at it from the inside. There we go. Today I'm going to start on this second phase, which is going to be underneath here. So I'll have to start with removing the batteries and then loosen up the triangle underneath there. Alright, batteries are out, and so is the board. The triangle is right over there. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit and see where I need to make the cuts. This hole right here. There we go. So that, look, there's another There's another bottom right here, which looks like flush with this. Interesting. What I think I'm gonna do here is going to measure and pre-cut a triangle of pressure treated plywood that I'm gonna eventually use, and then I'm gonna lay it on here, mark my cut after the template, and then cut the rest of the floor out. Alright, here's the board. So I'm cutting it in that much from the wall because of the angle, so I have space to work with. I'm going to try cut with a chainsaw blade and see if that works well. Alright, made the cuts. It's still gonna be a little challenge to get it out. Yeah, that part came out easy. This one here is a little more stubborn. I'm gonna cut it flush with that level right there. This is like mud. So this is, look at the water that comes out of this shit. Back another day. Now this is just soap and water, cleaning up with soap and water first, and then I'm gonna go back in with acetone after to get a little grip for some resin before I put in the wood. Alright, so I'm getting the wood in here. I have pre-drilled holes That way I can drill down screws and they allow them to spin in the wood, but grab the fiberglass below, so it will attach to the fiberglass better. Now it's very tight, so let's see. I have all the wood cut and drilled. They're all loose right now. I'm about to screw them into the fiberglass so they're good attached to there. Almost all the screws are in. Alright, fiberglass is going down in the resin in the first step. Right, fiberglass and resin is down on that underneath. Now I'm laying this down while it's still wet. I'll mark my screw points right here. Right here. So I gotta get it screwed down and under pressure while it's still wet. I got almost all the screws in, except missing a couple here and here. And then I run out of battery juice. So I gotta put some weight on it right now just to keep it down to the liquid resin, since I don't have screws to fill in with. I just prepped the whole area. I got the screws in, I got this one here in because that's what the tank is going to sit on, sticking out a little bit. Unfortunately the tank is bigger than anticipated, so the markings you see up there is when they need to be cut out, but not doing that before, afterwards. Now, so I prepped it with acetone, so cleaned it, and I'm about to lay fiberglass right here. Alright, so I got 2 layers down in the joints, and then patched up around here, and I gotta do it again, and then the final coat in the middle, maybe even 2. So now this is cured overnight, so before I go back and do more, I'm gonna get the little spikes up. You know, it's like small little threads that can rip your hand easily. So I'm using this to kind of brush off of it. Here we go in with the next layer of fiberglass and resin. Alright, I finished smoothing out the surface, so that part is good right there. Now what I have remaining to do is to cut where the black line is so that it can fit the tank in here. I bought this here because I thought like a saw would do the job. I cut that and that, and it's choking. It can't handle it. So I gotta come up with something better. Maybe this is battery operated, so maybe that's just too weak. Maybe I need to go and get a 110 sawzall or a chainsaw. I will see what I can come up with. All right, next attempt. Okay, it's leaking gas out of here. That's not good. Alright, I'm gonna try this again. I got a new bulb for the chainsaw, so hopefully now it's gonna be working okay. Well, anyway, I got it all over me, but it seems like it's not pretty, but I think I got it out. So I'm gonna give it a try, see if the tank will fit in there now. Oh, it's super tight. I think I need to grind off a little bit more. It's too tight. Oh, and there's another problem. Oh, this here. That is actually what the problem is. Ah, crap. That is not something I can do anything with. GoPro, stop recording.